Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Cicero Planning Board meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Chuck, would you lead us off, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First order of business is the approval of the planning board minutes from August 20th. Any questions or comments? We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jim?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And I vote yes, minutes have been approved. Next, we'll open the meeting to public comment. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to address the board on any active application, you can do so now. Given nobody's approached, we'll close the public input and move on to the first agenda item. This is for the Cicero Fire Department, a proposed 56-foot by 38-foot outdoor storage building. Good evening, welcome back.
Oh, I got a louder voice than that. Obviously, we're back. You guys got the updated plans. Matt happened to be on vacation. He wouldn't take us with him down to the Cape, so you got to deal with me tonight.
Rude.
So we updated a few things. Obviously, the color was the biggest thing when we first came, I think, months ago. We're going to split the color. I got a sample here just so that they call it a burgundy. It kind of matches the split of what we have on the current building, Station 1. And so it'll be the lower section, and the trim will be that burgundy. And it'll be more of like a sandstone beige that matches the current building. So it kind of fits better than the other red that originally was proposed, which we didn't think was too aesthetic to the four corners. But other than that, question wise, you saw Matt's, he sent over the rebuttal of comments there on the building itself, and we're open to questions, concerns. We're hoping to kind of button this up, get the approval so we can start before the white stuff hits us in a few months here.
The one question I had, there was a comment from Mr. Parrish regarding landscaping.
Yep. So,
And
sorry.
no, you go ahead. So the answer sounded like there was a little confusion about the landscape that is required now with the design standards.
Yeah, so that's the current, obviously, looking at it now with the proposal in the back, the farther green trees back near the parking lot. Those are currently, between what we have there now, we put in the pine trees back when we did the original building. So none of that was touched. It's just we cleaned up the typical eyesore of, the cattails and the drainage swell that runs through there. So on the back end of the landscaping, you'll see right in front of the pole barn, closest to the station, that's where that wetland is, and it's fed with that wildflower feed and stuff. So we do get growth with that. That's when that was put in with the building. So we try to maintain that as well. But landscaping wise, the upper portion where the Memorial Park is, I don't know, was that something that he added or you guys requested at the other meeting?
What was it?
The trees up to the front there.
When we created these plans, we used our
Plans from before, yeah.
buildings, so those were
Oh, that's right.
shown in the plan.
Okay. But landscaping around the back portion of that building, it's all shielded to the south, and obviously to the west, and then to the north, we got where the driveway is. That's existing trees and everything. It's just going to be kind of cut out and put back in there.
Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but the design standards are talking about along the road frontage?
Yes, well, technically, I believe it's the perimeter.
Perimeter, wow.
Yeah. This case, the front. That's the dirt. I think that 1 tree every 40 feet or something like that along. It's west.
Yeah, so on that the south corner, if you take those trees near the parking lot, that's all going towards the back, going west, like if you were going to go down towards Legionnaire Drive, going to the west behind of the building. It's all, we didn't, there's none of the trees, that's all tree. At the west that backs up to the several properties there to the south. And then to the north, it's kind of, I know the map doesn't show, the overview doesn't show much, but we didn't touch any of those trees. It was just kind of that area where it was cleaned out when we built the building for the future of this. So that it's kind of within that aspect, short of cutting down all the trees that are there and putting new ones in.
And we don't want to
Yeah,
do that.
I don't, I mean, obviously it comes cost effective, but, so landscaping wise, and we don't want to put anything on the front portion because you got that wild feed there where the DC, it grows up and we maintain it.
Just so.
Yeah.
is what that is.
Your thoughts, Mark?
I mean, around the building itself, I think it's fine. I don't know if the board wants it. I don't know what the frontage along Route 11, I guess. is.
Well, this is up behind our building, so,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't actually have a frontage to 11.
Well, when we look at a site plan, we have, design standards that are in place now that were adopted by the town board.
Yeah.
And it's our job to implement those. And what we're saying is that the frontage needs to have some landscaping in order to comply with the design standards that are now in place.
Now this,
Frontage of the pole.
The frontage, the Route 11 frontage of the main building. That's part of the site plan, even though you're doing the pole barn out back, and I get where you're coming from, but we look at the entire site whenever a project comes in front of us, regardless of what's actually changing on that site. If that makes sense to you.
yeah, no, absolutely. And our concern is now, if we're gonna require something aesthetic wise in front of that building, now we're gonna have to go back farther and cut additional trees down in that back section
Why?
too. Because of the way the lot, if you can zoom in or,
Well, I think he's talking about up here.
oh, you're talking about the front of our. the
Yes,
station?
yes.
Oh, the front of the station.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the front of the pole barn.
no,
Yeah,
no,
so the front of the station, that's portion of, that was phase 3. That's part of this process of having something in the firehouse. But we tore the old firehouse down and we waited, as you can see in the 4 corners, they're digging up that whole side lot. So we weren't gonna kind of do the side lot in the building at once because they're putting that gas line in. So, but yeah, the front of the station, absolutely, landscaping that's on our docket for the main station. I thought you were talking about the pole barn. So,
yeah, the main station.
Yeah.
So there are plans in place for that.
yes.
Do you have the design that's going in relative to landscaping for that person?
I don't have one with me. I can send it to the board. It'll be in front of the admin entrance just to the north of as you can see the kind of the sign there.
Yep.
It'll go the north side of it'll extend from the pavement to the north side driveway there, just in front with, some bushes and stuff like that.
Any trees?
Any of the trees, no, we didn't put any in there due to the right of way of, obviously sitting back off with what we're being told is, DOT's coming in and taking a turn lane, so we're afraid to put anything within our standards of that right away, because I don't want to have to pull them out and spend all the money, unfortunately.
That's part of what they're doing right now. It doesn't show on this, but they're putting in a gas line right now to Memorial Park, digging all that up.
Yeah, that's the old picture, yeah, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, if you guys.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
So it's kind of been nice that we're working with National Grid and the contractors before we put stuff in just to tear it out. So that's our, but on the front of the station, yeah, that was part of the plan of putting in the landscaping to Station 1.
What options do we have to,
Hard to describe landscaping, you can't see it.
very hard.
If you plan applicant, to comply with doing something like we got it along Route 11 frontage. I don't think you want to say to comply with the town's design standards, because I think what they're saying is if you put it on the trees, it's in a very limited range. To improve the regional aesthetics of it, and you'll be leaving it up to them. Just like a portion, otherwise you have to kill the landscaping. I think we could work with you on it.
Well, they got put on their document. Sure.
Hmm.
Without a picture or something, I can just give you an area and say they will supply reasonable landscaping. And then you be leaving it up to the applicant. With, with reason.
So if you look at the comments that, Mark, were those your comments or were they Anthony's? Yeah. So this was Anthony. So let me just read through it. So
No, yeah, absolutely.
site plan landscaping standards within the town's design standards require at least one tree for every 40 linear feet of perimeter and at least one shrub for every 10 linear feet of perimeter. The existing front yard currently has no landscaping, especially the southern property boundary. So I think, and I'm just one vote up here, but obviously there's a lot of trees on the property, but we need to enhance the front like you're planning on
Yeah,
doing.
absolutely.
And I understand the issue with the construction that's going on there. I'm fine with leaving it to their judgment. I don't know about the rest of you.
Reason to comply with the town.
I like that.
Yeah, the other thing too, we want to worry about that front section is, I mean, obviously, we're not going to plant huge trees, but it'll be more closer to the building because of our line of sight coming from north and southbound. Last thing we want to do is pull out on that lovely Route 11 and 31 corridor.
Understand that.
But the plan was definitely that front section of the building kind of wrapping around, to dress it up. So,
And the comments make the southern section as well.
yeah, in the southern section, once they're done with all the gas line and
Yep.
everything else that they decide to dig it up on us. So.
All right, so we'll open the questions beyond that, Jim.
I'm good.
You comfortable with what we're talking about landscaping?
Yes.
wise?
Yeah.
Chuck, any questions?
I'm also comfortable with the, their due diligence and dressing things up. I'm just curious, though, why do you need a gas line on an empty lot?
That gas main comes in right, it used to be on the old apron of the old station. You can see the footprint. So that's part of National Grid's upgrade of whatever they're doing for Route 11. And I assume this Micron project that's coming in. So they're taking those that know where Dave Kessel lives. They're on the east side of Route 11, going through the Dave Kessel's house, just south of that, down across the street. They're going to cut across the street at the bank and tie into that bigger line. So it's not only our four corners or our corner, it's going to go up Route 11 towards the church and Dave Kessel's house there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, just wondered.
no, exactly. We said the same thing. So we've had a great partnership with National Grid, which is good. So they're going to help us kind of put the lot back in a better position than it was, thank God. And they were upfront with us before we spent all the money to do it, to have it ripped out.
Thank you.
Mary?
I'm also comfortable with the wording that Neil gave. I just wanted to ask for the properties where the new, shed is going, the storage. Is there buffer trees? There is, right?
Yeah, he just, when he had Google Earth up or Google Maps there, I think you can kind of see the buffer between the properties and that's, yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of, some nice
Field
trees that
bed.
one we don't want to take down, but it's kind of got a nice buffer. So it's not,
Over here, right?
yeah, it's going to be right in that
Right.
spot there. Yep. So kind of nice to not have to put those in or take them down.
And thank you for, updating your picture, but can you go vertical? The
Yeah,
white?
you want to, yes, yeah, we can do it.
Yes.
That was just kind of a, design off the thing. It'll be the up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Sorry,
doesn't
yeah.
just look wrong to
Yeah,
me.
no, exactly. Cause it's sideways on that building.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so
we
just
like
go
the-
vertical with the
yeah, the
That'll
metal,
be good.
the metal sheeting coming down.
Yeah.
Yes. Looks a lot better than
white, yeah. That's all I had. Thank you.
Zach?
I'm all set. Thank you.
As am I.
I'm good, thank you.
You're adding the vertical? Anything additional? Mark?
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion for our standard seeker. Do we have a second?
Second,
Jim?
Yes.
Chuck?
yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And I vote yes for the seeker. Neil, when you're ready, please propose a motion for approval.
56 by 48 outdoor storage building. This is the list of the condition on the following. One, the color scheme renderings and or elevation is presented by the applicant to the planning board in regard to this application shall be incorporated by reference to the site plan and the board's approval thereof. Accordingly, the actual project must substantially conform to the items presented. 10. 2, landscaping including trees and shrubs will be added along the Route 11 frontage in order to reasonably comply with the town's design standards. Finally, the metal sheeting on the building will be certified.
And would somebody like to make that a motion?
I'll make that motion.
In a second?
Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes,
Mary?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And I vote yes to the motion. All set?
Appreciate it. Thanks for, having us and, good luck.
Good luck to you.
John, do you want, I think they're DARRDP, president, one of the chiefs of the fire department. Thank you. Thanks for.
Yeah, no problem.
So, anything else?
Not you, your dog. Next item on the agenda is site plan for property at 7848 Northern Boulevard, a proposed fire apparatus and sales service business.
Evening.
Good evening.
Scott Freeman, Kepler Freeman Associates, John Trenka representing the crew coming in here. So we have some site items and some building items to discuss. Building wise, we're replacing a sign panel that's already there. We're adding some 6-foot height fencing, slide gate, and some, I think we're gonna have the same discussion we had with the last applicant. We can't fit 54 trees and 202 shrubs on this plan unless we have to go there. But anyway, the site is surrounded by a lot of existing vegetation, so we went a little beyond 40 foot on center because we have 3 trees along the road, we have 2 on site, and we have that purple one that's right on the edge. And then we have 3 massings of shrubs, 1 on each side of the entry, the slide gate. And then we have a little bit on the north side of the building. So I guess, before we get into the architecture, maybe we start with comments on the site, if that's okay.
I counted 36 and 25.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, I get the intent of, I look at your landscape code as an intent, but there's a lot of great existing vegetation there that especially it's wetlands, so I can't even get in there and cut down a tree to plant a tree.
Yeah, and it's an existing building, so sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to comply
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the standards. I get that. Anybody, before I start, anybody want to chat about the landscape? You see what they're doing new, right? Anybody? Because I have a comment. So this gate here.
Yeah.
What do you think about putting some decorative pines along here?
2 or 3 pine trees, nothing that gets too big, maybe 2, I don't know.
Yeah, nothing to get, yeah, not the big
Overgrown.
ones.
Yeah, I'll put 3 evergreens there. Yeah, the only thing that's not shown on the plan is with the 50-yard setback, we can't plant within right, there's a right
Right.
way beyond the property line, but I'll work that out. So we'll add 3 evergreens there.
And, you know, the gate looks a little complicated.
Well, I
Sure.
can explain that. I mean, believe me, it's pretty, we put them in all the time. The reason we went it's on an angle, so it may look a little awkward, but it's perpendicular to the path of travel. And if you have a 20-foot gate open, then you need a 10-foot counterbalance. So every time you elongate the fence, you want counterbalance. Project, so we ran it perpendicular to the drive, and we didn't want to send it in towards the septic field because the grade comes up a little bit.
Right.
We have it sliding towards the road because it's lower, that's where the water goes, so. Yeah, I think it looks, it doesn't look great in plan, but it's not a safety concern to the direction that it's.
Yeah, that was my point about putting the pines there
Oh, I got
to
you.
screen that gate a little bit and,
Maybe I would
and to
take
get the
that-
count up a bit.
Take that deciduous tree out and put the 3 evergreens there, so because you wouldn't have enough room to put 3 evergreens. I would take that.
I'm thinking about like in here.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I would take out the one deciduous tree and add maybe 5 evergreens, because the evergreens are gonna grow into the deciduous tree if you're really concerned about it. But I'll do 3, I'll leave 5 deciduous trees and add 3 evergreens.
I would defer to, I'm a planning board chair. What do I know?
Yeah.
Mark, do you have any thoughts on that?
You know, I think either will work. You know, the evergreen values here are more. Opaque, you know.
In year round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might be. Fine.
I'm good with that.
All right, thank you.
Did you get the architectural review? It came late, came like
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah, well, I guess when we get through the site, we can talk about that next.
All right. That's all I had on landscaping. I don't know if anybody else did. Mark, anything in it?
No,
Are the big rocks staying or going?
they're staying. Yeah,
They're staying.
yeah, they're good for light snow, you know, good delineators. You know, they're protecting the existing septic field. You know, last thing you want to have some guy pushing snow in there. We've had projects where that happens, and then the spring, surprise.
Anything additional or in your
Well, we're
presentation?
ready, John, well, before we get into the building, I guess, what I'd like to have the tenant John explain is what was going on before we made all these changes.
Okay.
We're making a decision on that, so maybe we'll let John. kick
Terrific.
that off.
Yeah, so I just want to review Ken Fink, Premier Fire Apparatus, and his use of the building. He is a fire apparatus custom upfitter. He services a lot of the local fire departments, their fire trucks, so custom upfitting of those. You know, so when we use the term automotive repair, it's not a Valvoline, it's not a, you know, it's not gonna be vehicles in and out, oils changed every day and transmissions sitting on tables. So we just wanted to make sure that the use for the tenant was understood for, you know, how they're going to conduct their business there, what was gonna be stored in the warehouse, because I know there's some ongoing concerns regarding fire suppression, size of the warehouse and how the fire code reads.
If there were concerns, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, because I know that's been one of the outstanding items that has to be addressed here is the size of the warehouse space, his use. I believe
Relative to the fire hydrant location?
the fire hydrant location, and I was, there, the term SL1 and SL2 was described for this scenario, and I'm sure Mark can probably elaborate a little bit better. But I think that was kind of the talking point from the last meeting.
Yeah. Has there been any conversation with the fire department? Paul's here. Has there been any conversation with Paul? Come on up.
4 o'clock this afternoon, the fire chief had a conversation with someone, I don't know who, but they, obviously didn't make any decisions or make any comments about what would be approved here by the board. Just a very general conversation about fire suppression, as far as I know.
So we want the fire department to be comfortable with the fact that they can perform their service if needed. And nobody up here has, I want to hear from the fire department that they're happy. And I don't know if you can do that tonight or if it's going to take additional conversation with the fire department.
Okay, so the fire department is who we need to have become comfortable with the use of the building, how Ken's gonna operate there, and they will report to you guys to make sure that that's, I guess, approved.
Steve?
Well, I mean, there are code requirements that have to be met, and I've had discussions not only with Paul, but also the fire chief, and they're gonna be something that's gonna have to be resolved, a way they're gonna have to determine that they're gonna be able to comply with the fire code, and there's options to do that. And that's something that's gonna have to be done for the permitting process, you know, to comply with the uniform code. That's been the extent of my conversations. I don't know about the conversation today, but there are you understand what an upfitter more, but it's by definition, it's a repair facility, you know, it's an onward repair. So maybe it's less intense than, you know, I don't know what upfitter necessarily means, but
Yeah, there's a lot of general things thrown out there, but is it?
Can you do me a favor and talk into the mic?
So is it an occupancy classification that triggered it into requiring?
it is, well, no, it was an S1 before, and it's still an S1. It's
Correct.
just because it's automotive or commercial truck repair. Okay, and it's greater than 5,000 square feet. That's where it triggers it. The change of use in that part. Mhm. Yeah,
So
and there-
we're really kind of, we need to, have a conversation with the fire department. And then,
that would help, or your design professional. Yeah,
or, so then there's the square footage that's in play,
yep.
but not so much the hydrant.
Well, there's not I'll let Paul discuss with the hydrant. He's got any more comments on that. There isn't a hydrant there. There isn't a hydrant.
Go on.
Yeah. So there's no way to put a hydrant.
I did, go into Google Maps and there is a hydrant in the neighborhood in the back, I think it's Lacey Drive.
Oh,
That's, if, you know, they're gonna go across lots, they're within 400 feet of the property line or closer. But
doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, you gotta,
no.
we're out, yeah.
Drive one of your trucks through the cross slats and see how it goes.
Okay. Just to be clear, I'm a voting member on the NFPA board of committees, so I'm pretty familiar with those. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I understand the rule in chapter 5, but the sprinkler system exception, okay, it's not a rule if you're not within a certain distance of a fire hydrant that you're required to put sprinklers in. That's an exception where that rule goes up or under.
It has nothing to do with the fire hydrant.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
It's the code that requires greater than 5,000 square feet.
So we're talking about 5,000 square feet. The S1 remains the same.
It's gonna be an S1, but it's an auto, it's a garage repair facility for commercial vehicles. So that's the 5,000 square foot for when it's auto repair, 5,000 square feet commercial under the one of the, okay, and it says sprinkler. Or you could reduce this to fire area.
You can reduce fire.
But yeah, or you can go to chapter 13 and try to do some performance based.
Yeah, or just
Just
take the demising wall that exceeds the 5,000 by 500 and actually put an additional layer of 5/8 sheetrock that would give it a 2-hour rating or something along those lines.
If you're able to create a fire area of 5,000 square feet or less, then that gets rid of the sprinkler requirement.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes the fire department that happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's that's a code requirement. Yep.
So do we move forward with approval and leave that up to, no, should they,
I guess, are you able to give
Building.
approval on behalf of the fire department if we present something?
Yeah.
So my thought is I just, and this is maybe.
It really is.
so it would be handled in Steve's office?
They'd have to do it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know anything they're talking about.
That's where.
Inside the building, that's stuff that we, it's like for site planning for.
So we can do site plan and do a condition on that meeting.
Yeah. Only if-
Steve, you're comfortable with that?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Was there for
A variance? It wasn't a commercial repair facility for commercial trucks. It was just a warehouse. They were a fire restoration company. That's where they cleaned couches or whatever they got, and smoked, that stuff, and their offices were up front. So they didn't have vehicles in there at all.
Thank you.
Like drawing, point of view, I can cloud, change the date, put the 5 evergreens on there and resubmit the drawing tomorrow. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, it's gonna be conditional.
Can we, so you're gonna lose it, just.
Yep. Issue a drawing, couple of days, so you have, we're done.
Did you want to go over more items relative to the? He had mentioned the architect review, mentioned the dumpster and being. It needs to have enclosure on all 4 sides.
He did mention that, and I don't think that's in the design standard.
No,
Is that a design standard requirement? That's general, that's been in our code for a long time. It's a screen from view, and I think the way
it
you
is.
can show the street, it's screen from view.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so my personal opinion is was
I'm fine with
before.
it, as long as it meets design standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you mentioned design. Or any other questions, Jim,
I'm good.
Chuck,
Also,
Mary,
I'm all set.
Zach,
All set.
Steve, anything additional?
I'm all set, thank you.
Neil, you're working away? Mark, I'll make a motion for a standard seeker. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Jim,
Yes.
Chuck,
yes,
Mary,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
and I vote yes to the seeker. Neil, would you make a motion for approval as discussed, please?
Premier Fire Apparatus 7848 Merlin Boulevard, Polish Fire Apparatus Sales and Service Business. It's a rule strictly to ensure the following: 1, proposed change rendering general elevations presented by the applicant to the planning board in regard to this application to be incorporated by reference into the site plan and the board's approval thereof. Accordingly, the actual project must substantially conform to items as presented herein. In the minimum 5 evergreens will be placed in a manner to screen the gate. 3, the applicant will meet all applicable building and fire codes.
And would somebody like to make that a motion?
making a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Jim,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes,
Mary,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
and I vote yes. You're all set. Thank you.
It can be me or it can be the chief, Pat Brendan.
Okay.
People are referring you to me, I think.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah. You covered you on that? You did. Continue, when they changed the new permit, you continue coverage on that slip up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can do it out to it.
So that concludes our agenda items. Is there any discussion from the team? None? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?